What is good further beyond is we're back with another conspiracy theory episode. How you doing, Pan?
Doing all right. Finally, after a week, like a little break, sometimes you just have to take a break. We're back
Yes,
with
sir.
some
Yes,
interesting
sir.
stories, hopefully.
Yeah, mine is a little a little graphic, just a little bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's a little bit violent, a little sad at the very end, but yes, I guess I'll give a little trigger warning before I do mine, but
hmm
yeah, it's just prepare yourself for it. I don't know what Pan's doing, but the way he spiced it up, he said like the Mad Gasser down
Yeah, yeah.
of later lane or something. I don't know. I don't know, but that should sound kind of cool. I ain't gonna hold you. All right, you want me to go first? You go first.
You can go first. I'm gonna be like the longer story at the end.
All right, bet. You guys may have heard of this story. It happened in 2012. I love telling like just not really conspiracies, but true crime. That's always been my interest, true crime. So this story took place in 2012, and it took place in West Virginia about a girl named Skylar Neese. You know about this story?
I don't think so.
So
Nope.
Skylar Neese was in high school. She's a 16-year-old girl. Um, High school in West Virginia sounds like torture. Just a little side point. Like, what goes on there? I have no idea.
No idea.
She was pretty popular. She was probably like one of the kids that you could probably talk to and just have a decent conversation with. Probably had a lot of acquaintances. But she was really close with these two girls named Sheila and Rachel. They're very close friends, probably inseparable. They would always hang out outside of school. They would always be caught together inside school, eating lunch together, anything. They were inseparable three people. Like I feel like most friends in high school probably are right at three friends. Like you always got to have a triple for some reason. So on the night of July 6th in 2012, they had planned earlier to kind of all sneak out together and smoke weed like they usually always do. They usually all sneak around midnight and then go smoke or drink or whatever and then come back before the parents wake up like around 5 or 6. So they plan, of course, to do this on that night on July 6th, to go smoke in the woods like they had always done. They pulled up to Skylar's house around midnight, and Skylar snuck out the window and then like placed something up against her window so her parents couldn't notice that it had been messed with, just in case they ever came inside there. Then she got inside the friend's car, and then they eventually took the drive. On the way over to the woods, the friends had told Skylar like, "Hey, we're gonna go to this party or whatever. It's still inside the woods. It's a different part of the woods, but it's probably a little further back than you're used to. So if you see us like driving further, then that's just what we're doing." So Skylar was like, "Okay." They drove across the state line of Pennsylvania. I don't know how close West Virginia and Pennsylvania are, but I'm guessing they're like border each other. So
Yeah. You're
they
asking the
always
wrong person here.
yeah. I don't even know. So yeah. Yeah, so they drove over the state line up into Pennsylvania, which they had always done, because like this party wasn't the same woods that they would always go to smoke weed and stuff. So nothing was really out of the ordinary. Well, they eventually kept driving into the woods deeper and deeper, and eventually got to the area. Well, when the three got there, they started heading towards like this party spot or whatever, and then they kind of told Skylar like, "Hey, we forgot our lighter, and I don't feel like walking alone. I know you don't feel like being alone, so can we go back to the car to get the lighter?" And Skylar was like, "Yeah, of course." And the other girl was like, "Yeah, of course." Sheila had forgot the lighter, and the other two were like, "Yeah, we'll follow you behind her or whatever." Well, Skylar was keeping watch as the two like were looking for a lighter or a weed or a blunt or whatever they were looking for inside the car. And as she was keeping watch, she heard a countdown. She heard 3, 2, 1, and then both of her friends started to repeatedly stab her inside the neck, inside the back, in the
Huh?
stomach, all over her legs. Yeah, both of her closest friends started to stab her over repeatedly. I couldn't find an exact number on the amount of stab wounds that she had,
hmm
but guessing from like how long it took, because they were able to stab her in the back probably upwards of 10 times. She was able to struggle, grab a knife from Rachel, and try to attack back, but she ended up only slicing like I think her ankle or something like that. Not deep enough to cut the Achilles or anything, but just her ankle. Rachel was able to get the knife back, and then they were both able to stab her multiple times while she was on her back, trying to block the knives or whatever, knife stab wounds. Yeah, they had stabbed her until she had eventually died. Which, of course, like 2 against 1 in that scenario, when you have no weapon, there's not really a good outcome for that, unfortunately. Like, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to have to die. And it ended up, unfortunately, being Skylar, who in this story was, the completely innocent one. She had no idea what was going on. They had completely lied about there being a party. And apparently this had been like a long scheme for about like months now of how they were going to kill her. After they had killed her, they buried her in this, deep inside the woods, put a tree branch over like the burial spot, put some rocks over it, like to where it looked like there was nothing right there. And then they would have never been caught if the way that Skylar positioned the thing over her window, she messed up this one singular time. Like, she usually put it like directly straight forward, like it always looked in front of the window, but this time it was like slanted and diagonal, which made the parents think like, what the fuck? So they, of course, got the camera footage from the apartment building and noticed that her friends came to pick her up around midnight, and that's what got the whole thing caught, basically. So there was like a huge court trial, them asking, what exactly made you do this? And the friends said they only killed her because they didn't want to be friends with her anymore.
Yeah, seems like a valid reason to me,
Yeah, like you can't just you can't just stop talking to the person or anything. But
hell no.
They repeatedly told the cops everything. We didn't want to be friends with her anymore. We didn't like her anymore, so we just decided to kill her. At 17, you gotta no, that's not viable. But
it's never viable.
Yeah, like usually you can say like self-defense or some shit like that. Like, yeah, we only killed her because she tried to kill us or some bullshit like that. Yeah. Like, even the lie wasn't like, what the fuck?
That shit is not self-defense. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Said, like 10 times, bro. Relax. Okay, I get it, but not 10 times
at all. In the back, like, how many times was it on her stomach and chest and neck? Like,
yeah.
Well, the dad did a little bit of deeper research and remembered a story that Skylar had told him just a while back. Like, kids tell their parents everything. And apparently Skylar had told him that Rachel and Sheila were actually out of the closet, hooking up a lot, and they didn't want anybody to know. And the only person that knew was Skylar. And out of fear that Skylar would tell anybody, they decided to just kill her before anybody found out, basically.
Fuck.
Yeah. The police went to her and was like, is that true? And then they like kind of semi-denied it, like, no, we only didn't like her. But then, I don't know, they chose to take that reasoning over just no reason, basically.
But it still came out then at the end, I guess, that they were in a relationship. I mean, it's just...
Exactly, like all that just to get found out still.
Wait, I learned about this last year. I think there's a term for this whole thing. It's called Streisand effect. When you try to censor something and you only make it more public, like more well known by doing so. They really try to kill her friend just to so no one knows, like no one learns about the relationship, and in the end even more people know. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, now the whole world knows.
This backfired heavily.
Absolutely. Like, and just like, there was no reason to, like, even if the reasoning was that they just didn't like her anymore and they just didn't want to be friends with her anymore, like, I get in 2012 everybody wasn't as open to sexuality as they are now. Like, there were a lot of homophobic people in 2012. Now it's more kind of silent. If you are homophobic, you don't really say anything about it. But I get it was different times, but still, it's like, why? Like, why would you kill your closest friend? Like, if it really wasn't because you didn't like her anymore, like, you really only killed her so she would keep a secret. It's insane, bro. Like, people would do anything. Like, I don't know if you saw this, but there was somehow, I don't know, Elon Musk Twitter is just different. But I actually saw a guy like break inside a hotel room and like catch his wife cheating. It was like, I guess, CCTV footage, like found footage or whatever. And I saw him like I guess I saw for the first time ever the process of stabbing somebody that wasn't inside of a movie, because it was like a real video. And that shit is crazy. Like, it didn't dawn on me like how long the person stays alive having to endure that.
That shit is I mean, I probably, because I haven't experienced it yet, luckily, but I assume, yeah, probably very painful. Because one just regular stab wound anywhere, except for maybe the head, if you're strong enough to, somehow get the knife through the head. Otherwise, even if you hit like the organs, I would say, or from what I know, you will still survive quite some time and feel all this shit. Like, this is insane.
Yeah, because he was stabbing his, I guess, ex-wife in that scenario. He was like she was trying to block him. You would see the knife go through her hand. Like, that shit just looked crazy.
Damn.
I was like, oh my God. Like, I couldn't even, like, what makes you that angry to do something like that to somebody? Especially at 17. Like, you're not even really, you're not even really living life yet at that point. Like, 16-year-old, as a 16-year-old, you think you just all that, but you really just started.
I mean, life is over for them, I guess.
Oh yeah, they're
able
never
to live
seen
life.
the light of air, anything.
And even if they get out after many years, because I don't know how many years you get for just killing one person, conspiring against them. I don't know what the crime is called. You come out the prison as old people basically. So your life is basically over. Your best years, all for that. I mean, how isn't this like the second story? Maybe even more. Somehow, like we always get these stories of friend groups coming together to take out one person from their group. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is the same thing almost with the hotel story with the girl and the doctor came, from a couple of weeks back. Also, like, there was a party and all that shit, and they still, in private, took her out. Like, damn.
Yeah, it's always over. I mean, like, I guess we're just sane people, so we can never understand the reasoning. Which I'm glad, like, all these stories I tell, you're never like, oh, it's kind of true. Like, wait, what? It's like, I'm glad we're both perplexed of why. But yeah, it's insane, bro. Like, these stories, I love true crime, though. Like, stories like these, I love researching, putting a light on it, so maybe it'll bring more attention to it or whatever. But yeah.
Though I gotta say, I am surprised that both of her friends admitted to the crime in the end. I feel like they could have maybe still tried to lie, right, and say that they weren't the killers, except for maybe if there was hard proof against them. And I would assume at least
it was the
there
footage.
was.
They saw her getting
footage,
into the car.
Yeah, but I mean, after that, they can claim anything basically.
Yeah, it's true.
Maybe like they split up at the end, right? And she just got lost and died somewhere else, and they don't know where.
Well, they did try to say, actually, they did say that they had picked her up at a later time than she was presumed dead. Like, I think the story that they tried to get off, which I didn't think was that important, but I guess it is kind of important. The story that they told the police was that they picked her up at 11 and then dropped her off at 12, and the footage that the CCTV saw was like basically her getting out the car and then going back inside the house. So, like, there's no way they could have done it. But then they came back to the house at like 1 a.m. and then they told her to sneak out, a different way, so that she didn't get caught on the camera, basically. So they picked her up twice.
Damn, so they just had their story wrong. Okay.
Yeah, they just fucked up their story.
They didn't think this out at all.
Nah, you have a whole month to come up with it and you still dropped the bag. It's crazy.
Yeah, completely emotional, I assume. Nothing is thought out. I mean, okay, I guess that's good, because now we know who killed her. Otherwise, we would be still in the dark, like with other crimes we had on here.
Yeah, finally you have like one that they got caught immediately, because like there wasn't even like a debate.
I was about to say happy end. This is not a happy
Hell
end.
no. I mean, I'm sure their family's happy they got closure at the end of the day.
I assume it doesn't bring her back. Obviously, that's with all the crimes, with these kinds of crimes. But I guess looking at it objectively, it is, I guess, better to just to know who did it.
Yeah,
or maybe
absolutely.
even why.
But then imagine you find out that it's somebody that you let inside your house millions of times and cooked for and cared for.
That will change you as a person.
Hell yeah, I wouldn't trust anybody anymore.
You will look at people completely differently. Yeah. shit hurts.
Like especially if she was an only child,
Mm-hmm.
and you just lost like 17 years of raising somebody.
Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. Sad that this kind of shit happens, and it's always the people close to you. Like that hurts even more.
Yeah, I mean, you won't see, I guess, like these aggressive ass, like stabbing multiple times from a random person. Like, I think, remember the one thing I learned inside college from criminal justice is that, like, if you get stabbed a lot, the cops know that it's a sign of passion and somebody close to you.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
I
me.
guess it
So,
makes sense.
what you
Yeah,
got
that
for
was
the
yours.
farter, the master farter?
Mine for it, my luckily isn't that graphic. It is weird though. So, I mean, when I'm done with the story, you can drop your take on it, what you think about the situation. But let's start with the story. This isn't really a conspiracy, kinda maybe. Like some parts of it are more or less a conspiracy.
Yeah.
But let's see. This whole story has the nice title, "The Mad Gasser of Mattoon." I believe this is a place in Illinois, in the U.S. Some people might know, no idea. Does anyone even live there in Mattoon? Never heard of this place. But
Never
whatever.
heard of it.
Yeah, but yeah, we are going back in time, World War II, kinda. This is 1944, so more or less, near the end of the war. But the war doesn't really play anything in. This is the U.S. Like in the U.S., there wasn't as much shit happening, so the people there living more or less normally. But yeah, this story is about a maniac that it was supposedly going around in this in this place called Mattoon, and attacking people with gas at night. I mean, this is where the title Mad Gasser comes from, and it says that around 20 homes were targeted there, and it all started on September 1st. Nice date to start it all off, first of the month. And a woman, like an older woman called Dorothy, no idea what the last name is, but we're just calling her Dorothy. She went to bed, like September 1st, after putting her kids to sleep. And while lying in the bed, she noticed a sweet smell. And I mean, at first thought maybe they were like flowers because she had a garden with flowers and all, like nothing crazy. The window was open. But the smell got stronger over time. And after a while, she realized she was unable to move. I couldn't really, stand up, move her legs, anything like that. And she started shouting out. And her sister, who lived with them, luckily came in, like saw it all. Her sister lying there in the bed, being more or less paralyzed, helped her out, called the police. But when the police arrived, the source of the smell thing that Dorothy described was unable to be found. Obviously, like this shit is never getting found.
Yeah.
And the husband, who from Dorothy, like Dorothy's husband, later came home from work and noticed a person in completely black clothing peeking or peering into their windows. So at night, weird. This is, I guess, weird. Not something you usually see. Tried to call out, tried to catch him, but wasn't able to. Bro escaped. No idea who it is. 2 days later, at a different family's place, a piece of cloth was found near the porch. It also smelled weird. When the person living there tried to smell it, it says she felt violently ill. The police was called instantly. They tried to smell it, but it had no effect. Like just a regular piece of cloth. No idea if anything ever happened to it. They ran some experiments. No trace of any chemicals found. So people were thinking maybe it evaporated. Maybe it's something that, it quickly disappears. No idea. But the woman living there said her theory is that this cloth was there to kill their dog, who usually sleeps near the porch. Because otherwise, why would it just, lie around there? No idea. But because of stories like this, because this shit was repeating itself, like with different families. It says that the next night, like after the cloth incident, During one night, 7 houses were attacked, and it says at 9
God
p.m.
damn.
A dark figure was seen, and in addition, at that place where the dark figure was seen, in the family, their daughter, like, I don't know, small child, I guess, whatever, fell ill 2 hours later after the dark figure was seen. At 10 p.m., there was another person falling ill to some sickly sweet smell, or some fumes, it says. And at midnight, in one of the apartments, a strange smell also appeared. The person smelling it immediately got weak, realized the window was slightly opened, but this is probably how the smell got in. And then shortly after, a different house was targeted, where a 60-year-old man noticed something there, some shit happening. I'm gonna keep it short. It's like, as I said, 7 houses were attacked. The police was called on all of them multiple times. Many innocent people were arrested for this, so ample false arrests as a result. And for all of these cases, no chemicals were found. No proof of anything ever happening there. The police arrives, the smell is gone, no idea. It's always just, when people realize the smell is there, call the police, boom, it's gone. So the question arises, is there even a killer, right? Is there even a gasser? Or is this all mass hysteria? Because this is like a small town, even especially back in the day, no idea. Like, I don't know how many people live there, but it sounds like it's more close. Like, people know each other, kind of tell stories around, like, gossip, and rumors spread pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So the question is this all just mass hysteria? Because after that, even more attacks started happening. The police was definitely not equipped to deal with all this huge panic going on there. And the police started driving around constantly through this place, even at night, trying to just keep the place safe. And people, because this whole thing became a big story, started following the police and, just like some, I don't want to say stalkers, but it's like they see it as an event. They follow them around just to maybe like have a chance to see the gasser in action or some
What
shit.
the fuck?
So the police started arresting the people following and annoying them.
That's your dumbass gig. What are you following police for?
Yeah, especially at night. Like, what are they supposed to do otherwise?
Go to sleep.
But yeah, those chasers were said, like, if you chase us, we're gonna arrest you. Some arrests were happening, sure. And after a while, even the citizens took out their guns and started patrolling the streets themselves, on some Wild West cowboy type shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, luckily no one died, so okay, sure, nothing happened. There's an incident where a woman in her house was so scared that she used her shotgun to shoot a hole into their kitchen wall out of fear. Even though nothing happened.
This dude had them going fucking crazy.
Yeah, even the police chief during that time said he wouldn't, not even for like $10,000 or so would he go into someone's garden or near someone's house during the night. Like, no way. You would be shot down instantaneously.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is, in terms of descriptions, like, because there were people, seeing the gasser, seeing some person, seeing some figure. Mostly those descriptions were similar. So it's usually just one person in dark clothing, though one person said it looked more like a woman in man's clothing, if that makes sense. Though I don't know if you can really tell at night. Maybe more slender physique with wide clothes. No idea how people can even come up with this, but I don't know. And then there was obviously a more crazy description, the local fortune teller. If that sounds like someone you would trust, no
Hell
idea.
No.
But yeah, this fortune teller said, I saw an ape man with long arms and a strange face. Like it has to be.
What is he
She-
talking about, bro? What?
yeah, the fortune teller came home, and the gasser was in front of them, and that's why they had this whole like rather detailed description, like weird ape-looking face, monster type shit. But I mean, okay, come on now. This is the only description that doesn't work with the others.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, I had to include it. It's just funny as fuck because people
He was
be
lying his ass off.
yeah, lying as fuck. Yeah, just to get into the paper, probably, the local paper. Definitely was a story.
That's like with the Zodiac Killer. They were just making bullshit up and making it harder for the police.
Yeah, and another funny incident was like a person called the police. The police came there because supposedly there was another gasser incident there, and the police arrived to find a weird smell. First time ever, a weird smell was there, and they tracked, like, looked for the look for the source, and all it was is just a spilled milk container, I guess. Or no, not milk container, polish remover. Yeah, that's where the sweet smell came from.
Oh
So
my
people
God.
just be, coming home, something fell down, maybe, accidents happen, and then, oh no, weird
Oh,
smell,
he's
let's
here.
call the police. I mean, I guess if everyone is scared there for I don't know how many days or weeks, I guess that's only natural. And September, like the 12th of September, the police chief announced officially the gasser never existed because nothing was ever found. All the time, it's just people calling in saying there was something happening. They smelled gas, they felt ill, paralyzed even sometimes. So people were thinking or were saying it's real, but whenever someone with like authority came in, no evidence of anything, right? Sure, the cloth or some shit, but the cloth didn't even have anything. So maybe it's like placebo, who knows? But yeah, they officially announced, sorry guys, the gasser never existed. There is no proof of anything. This is all just made up. And the police said the smell supposedly came from a nearby army shell casing factory, and it all, somehow got into the town where the people live and all that shit, even though it doesn't really make a lot of sense because the smell isn't really the same, but they had to come up with some random ass story. But the people in the town and the police themselves, like officials themselves, even they were divided because some were still believing in some random gasser going around. The other half, more or less, was saying nope. And this whole story ends with one big suspicion. And I didn't want to go too much into detail because it's just people, in my opinion at least, being desperate because they found a person living also in Metu, not far from the area or places that were gassed, who was a chemistry teacher, and he was the one who was suspected the most, described as an overall weirdo, living in his car, basically. Like, he doesn't really have a home or some shit. Has a sister, or has two sisters, I don't remember the exact number. Awkward person, never really talks to anyone. On some Dahmer type shit, no idea. Yeah, but he was the main suspect because he is a chemistry teacher. The police, I guess, looked into this, found some chemical experiments, where he lives, maybe at his sister's place, no idea. And then theories came up, or even nowadays, theories come up saying, like, this one description where the person said it looked like a woman in man's clothing. Maybe it was one of the sisters from the chemistry teacher. So they're just going in completely on this man. But obviously, no evidence was found that he actually did anything. The chemicals he was making, nothing crazy going on there, nothing scary. So I guess now that we reached the end of the story, you can tell me, what do you think? After hearing all of those events happening, all of this evidence, man, the evidence, you see it with me, right?
I think there's a really successful mass killer out there that did all this shit, and then the people somehow convinced the police there wasn't one.
And the funny thing is, no one died, right? It's just gassing, paralyzing. I guess it could have killed. Maybe if this gas actually was there, the first woman's word was saying she got paralyzed, wasn't able to move. If this one incident Like maybe the first incident is real, and after that it's all just people being scared, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just
yeah.
imagining the smell. The first one might be real, I think. That's why she's like one of the only people saying she actually wasn't able to move. The other people just got like felt sick. But
I think the
hard
first
to
one
say.
was an attempt to do something, and then maybe there might have been a few others, and then the dude probably realized, like, wait, this is getting way too popular, and then it took over the entire city. So he's like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing this shit
Until the
anymore.
point, yeah, until the point it all became the Wild West. Even
Yeah.
the police was like, "Nah, we're not going in there
Yeah,
anymore."
I'm good with that. Hell no. Like, I think he was trying to cook something, maybe trying to go a slow stir, but then the people knocked the pot off the stove. So he's like,
Yeah,
I'm good with
it's
that.
like he was like, "That's way too much for me to handle."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, even if he tried to be sneaky, there would definitely be someone to see him. And I guess it's hard to say because people, like many people said they saw silhouettes, they saw people like some people here and there sneaking around,
Yeah.
running away. But I don't know. I think now I remember there was a case of someone even getting caught that tried to run away, but it was just a, I think, drunk teenager or some shit. Like just someone that obviously wasn't the killer. Like after in some interrogation, they realized no, this is just no. He was just there at the wrong place at the wrong time, basically. But other than that, it's just people getting falsely arrested, maybe here and there, but no one ever getting caught. But this story is looked online kind of popular. I was like wondering if you ever heard of it, but you said you didn't.
No, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, and just in case though, I would say my theory on all this is it is all mass hysteria. Because I don't believe in like for even a little bit that the police arrived every time like when something supposedly happened and nothing was ever found, even the cloth that nothing was on there. Or maybe the police is lying, though. I guess I don't see a reason for them to lie. And the first story probably true. It has a higher chance of being true. Like the Dorothy incident has a higher chance of being like actually something that happened. Maybe there was someone, as I said, but after that, made up. Even the police got tired, bro.
Yeah,
Like
even the
12
police said, bro, there ain't no fucking gasser, bro.
Yeah,
I did
not
it.
even not even two not even 2 weeks passed, and the police chief was like, "Guys, fuck off, Mar. It
Yeah,
never
like, let us
existed."
do our job.
Yeah, they just came up with some bullshit ass story and called it a day.
I mean, as soon as the police said it doesn't exist anymore, people stopped talking about it. So
Yeah, and not
maybe
gonna
there
lie,
wasn't really one.
and not gonna lie, the chemistry teacher really got unlucky there.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely had to move town because even after being like the police like, yeah, he's innocent, you know for sure people will still side eye him every time they see him, keep their distance or maybe try to bro. If they run around with guns, I could imagine someone just going there, doing the deed and then leaving, and then saying, yeah, the gasser is gone. No, man.
No, as
He
soon
has
as I
to
heard
leave.
about, or as soon as if I was a police and I heard about going into the house and somebody just smelled nail polish, it's like, come on, dog.
Yeah. I wonder what happened in the one story where the woman was in her kitchen and it was like just shooting her shotgun at a wall. Like, chill,
just
bro,
an
chill.
idiot, bro.
Nothing there.
Like,
Imagine her husband was the one that coming home and she was like, oh, started shooting,
yeah,
bro.
exactly.
Yeah,
Like, why'd you
chill.
just start immediately blasting? It could be anybody.
Nah, this is insane. But I mean, this just shows how. Okay, if you assume that this is real, maybe the first story is, but the rest isn't. It just shows how rumors can really, fuck up or maybe make stuff bigger than it actually is. Blow something out of proportion. Because people were really out there with guns on the streets. This is not normal. I don't remember anything recently like this happening, or was there maybe something that really was that scary or that big that people started arming themselves? Because I don't remember anything like that.
Yeah, the clown sightings. I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh yes.
How like there was
the
just clowns
feel
everywhere.
like yeah, the clown sightings feel like it was way back, but it wasn't. It's like
It was
still
2017.
Yeah, it's still like fairly new, fairly recent. Yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I
the
mean,
clown
especially if
sightings
like
has
because people
people
are
on
starting to
edge.
take off 2021 and 2022 from even happening, and
Yeah.
2020. So it was like 4 years ago, really.
Yeah. A lot of people's low points, but yeah, the clown sightings. Yeah, you're right. You're right. People were really on edge there. Maybe not here, like in Europe, because I haven't. I usually heard those stories from the U.S., but people were doing way too much with the clown shit,
No,
because there were actually
it was
multiple people,
scary.
right,
Yeah, well,
going
I think
around as clowns.
I think it started off as like a promo because that was like the
Yeah.
same year that it was coming out, like Pennywise, the clown movie or whatever. I
Yeah.
think they came out as promo was like, hey, there's a clown running around. Here's a video footage of him. But then, of course, the people that were joking around started dressing up as clowns and like just chasing people. But then, like, the killers started dressing up as clowns and actually, like, hey, I'm a clown, I'm joking around, and then would stab you. Like, what the
It's a
fuck?
prank, bro. It's a prank.
Yeah, and then
Gone.
he actually
Fuck.
kill you. So it
So I
just
guess
it got exploded.
would it still count as self defense
If
if
he
you shoot a
stabs
clown?
you, or if you
No,
shoot a
if you
clown,
shoot one of the clowns, yeah.
yeah, because there was a point where like nobody knew if it was promo or joking or a killer. Like it was just like a
Yeah.
huge like nobody knew.
Yeah, you gotta be some type of like different type of dumb to dress up as a clown running around at night when people are like
Yeah,
it's like this was like prime uh like scaredness, whatever it's called, fear of clowns, the prime time for that. Don't be dumb.
absolutely,
But
absolutely.
yeah,
Because like it just
but yeah.
like I can't even explain. Like 2016 was just such a like that year didn't
Weird time.
exist.
Weird
Like
time
the
all
fact that
around.
like Harambe and the clowns happened in the same year is just crazy.
Damn. People been saying Harambe's death was the end of the world. It all starts from there.
Yeah, I mean like 2016 was the last like crazy year. Like that was the year that like we were still like didn't have shock factor yet. Like nowadays we hear shit and just like oh whatever. But like that was like the last year we were like
Man.
actually shocked by things.
Fuck. Maybe we just got older. Who knows? Mass hysteria.
Yeah, but
this was
nobody
this-
cares.
Yeah, but this was the story about the mad gasser of Mattoon. If you live near Mattoon, please leave a comment down below telling us if this story actually has more information. Yeah. I was trying to be ironic, but while talking, I realized this might be more interesting if we, for some reason, actually have viewers from near Mattoon or Mattoon. tell me some information that some people might not know, if there is some.
Yeah, this would be the community. We just have a lot of Mattoon viewers.
That's
Like,
me.
who are y'all?
Yeah, they see the video. They see the video in the feed, and are like, "Finally, man, some
Nobody,
recognition."
somebody speaks on this.
About
This is like their
time.
one shine. Like a lie.
The only thing that makes this place special in some way, man. Fuck.
Yeah, they definitely have like a Mad Gasser museum there.
Definitely, holy shit.
The nail
Yes.
polish and the chemistry teacher's wax
Yeah.
figure.
Yeah, this is the chemistry teacher's car, guys. Paid $10 to enter.
That's the only thing you do in the whole city. That's crazy.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right, well, this has been Further Beyond. I appreciate you guys for watching. Pan, you got anything else for us?
Close your windows at night, right,
Yes.
guys?
Yes,
Just
unless
be
you want to wake
safe.
up paralyzed.
Fuck.
Absolutely. Close your windows. Don't sneak out at night. Don't trust anybody past midnight. Don't go into the forest at midnight. And absolutely.
Common sense.
Don't live in Mattoon.
That is also common sense.
Yeah, like, it's a lot of lessons, bro. Just don't go to Mattoon and don't live in West Virginia at all. Like,
True,
nothing
true.
good happens there. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.